It was funny. I remember you saying to me this morning you felt a bit like a relic coming back here for the groundbreaking, and I told you you're not a relic, you're a part of history. But as a high school kid, you know, coming down here working, you literally did everything. You know, wherever they sent you that day, that was what you did.
I would go for the day. I don't remember being overly awed by the facility, but sheets of steel would come in, and then they would be brought down that direction to be hydraulically punched out.
At what point does it start to get married to the handle? I think that was the term.
Well, first of all, you have to go all the way down here and take a left.
Okay, well, let's take a look.
That was...
So when Jason and I... Were you here then? Sorry. Okay. So when Jason and I were here, we were constantly looking like reporters for things to get on the channel that were interesting. And so one of the things that Jason and I kind of brainstormed was, what do you see every day? The little changes in your town. When they're repaving, what roads are repaving, when it's a snow day, or whatever. And so one of those things was the shovel shop. The shovel shop's not very far from the station, and it was undergoing a massive renovation. When I first came to Easton and I walked around to get to know the town, that was the one spot that I didn't understand. It looked like it was used, but it looked largely unused. It looked vacant, but it had some businesses that were using some of it. And it was such a large amount of land in the smack dab in the middle of North Easton that it was sort of an eyesore. And then to see it sort of transform over a process of, I think, a year and a half, where they got the guys who were building it got used to me walking around, and they gave me a hard hat. From the first shovel dig to the last finished nail, we have that project completely documented, and that's a very special thing.
Hi, I'm Jim Hamilton, the moderator of Politically Divided. Charity work, private charities, is this the government's role?
Hi, I'm Ed Hands, and I'm here with another Easton Historical Society interview program.
I stayed there about 8 months, and then they told me I came home on leave for Christmas. When I came back, they said, "You're going to Korea."
I'm Dave Clifton. I'm here at courtside. There's Will Morton, takes the three. He got it! He got it all net! Huge three.
My name is Alan Krajcik, the Chief of Police for the town of Easton, and we're going to demonstrate the effectiveness of a taser.
Taser, taser, taser.
Hi, welcome to the NRT Fair. They're humming. Maybe we can get them. Can you hum? Go ahead. There you go.
October 21st in the year 2000, we're at the rear of Sheep Pasture, the NRT property. Uncle Jim Coots and I are going to go in and take in the horse and oxen pull today. Let's see how it goes. This is the first for the Natural Resources Trust of Easton. Okay, now, Ann, give us a little running report. Where are we here today?
Well, we're here at Sheep Pasture, the Natural Resources Trust Farm in Easton. We have our first annual draft horse and oxen event going on. We have a nice crowd and just an incredible day for October 21st.
And the heavyweights are coming on. What'll they be, 3,400 pounds a team, 35, 3,600?
3,200 and above.
32 and above.
The free-for-all class. And
okay.
There are some big animals down there. You should take a walk down through the trailers. It's amazing.
We're going to do it.
There you go.
Part of the basic elements of media, of television, or of film, are telling stories. And so one of the things that ECAT does as our mission and service to the community is to help residents tell their stories. And so we work closely with individuals and the Historical Society and other entities in town is to help them tell the stories of the people that lived in Easton and of people's personal history. these kind of stories from World War II and Korean War veterans to some of the stories about how Easton developed from an agricultural community into the flourishing town that it is today, and some of the crazy stories that go along with it are the things that ECAT does. Like, we are the people that cover those stories. We are the people that preserve those stories. There isn't another entity that does that in town, and sometimes you may not realize how valuable that is until 5 years from now or 10 years from now, when people that have passed away are preserved on video for the future, for their kids and for their grandkids. So we consider the work that we do in terms of cultural preservation as vital to the services that we offer the community.
This time we're going to be talking to Korean War era veterans. We have 3 veterans of Korea and 1 veteran who served in the European theater during the Korean War era.
I was not in the infantry. I ended up in communications, so I never got out in the field too much and played around. After 8 weeks, I was assigned to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and I stayed there about 8 months, and then they told me, I came home on leave for Christmas. When I came back, they said, "You're going to Korea."
I think one of the best relationships that ECAT has with an organization in town is the Historical Society. They want their stories documented. They feel like it's really important to document the great events that they put on. The Historical Society knows the people in town. They know the people that and the stories that they want to share with the community. And then ECAT is the group that documents it, preserves it, puts it online for people. So with the Historical Society, it's one of the best, most fruitful partnerships that we have, because it fulfills a need that the Historical Society has, and we are achieving the highest aspirations of our mission when we're working with a group like the Historical Society.
The property, affectionately named Sheep Pasture in Easton, was the favorite spot of Elise Ames Parker, daughter of Oliver and Elise Ames, of Easton's founding Ames family. The young Elise, called E by her parents, fell in love with the estate, though the family only lived there during the springtime of each year. Between a private teacher, schooling E and her 3 siblings, exploring the grounds with her father, and taking rides through town on afternoons with the family driver, who pointed out plants, trees, and flowers, E's admiration and love for nature grew. While one of the Ames family traditions at the time E was married was for parents to give property to their children as a wedding gift, she was thrilled that the 5 acres her father gifted to her included one of her favorite spots. She cherished the town of Easton and adored Sheep Pasture. E married William Parker, and while she spent many decades of her adult life living next to Unity Church, she became known throughout town simply as Mrs. Parker. Mrs. Parker entrusted the property to NRT in her will in 1979, and ever since it has been a popular park with families, walkers, and visitors from surrounding towns.
And the idea was that this would be land for the residents of Easton and the area. And this is the house that basically her father had built. Right here, over there where the foundation is. Eventually, he will acquire all the land that you and I know as Sheep Pasture. I'm Hazel Varela, and I've lived in Easton almost all of my life. I've been involved with the Historical Society since we reactivated it in 1967, and was president in 1969 when the Ameses gave the station to us. Someone representing your group just happened to accidentally come in one Sunday when we were open and was amazed at what we have here. You know, you have 2 large rooms of display. Upstairs we have archives. And we asked, would you be interested in our being part of your programming? And so we've been very fortunate that ECAT has always said yes. We have put together, it's really a history of the station, really the Historical Society and then the station. And we have a brief comment about each year. For instance, 2019 starts here, a couple of paragraphs, and then this page. But I do want to read the last line of the next to last paragraph. The Society is deeply appreciative of ECAT's filming Edmund Hand's walks. Ed did 10 during the summer. And again, what we're doing is making the community aware of cemeteries and everything else. And Ed does a tremendous job on research and the open houses. That whenever we have an open house, that ECAT is here. I've never heard anyone say, no, we're too busy. Which is a real compliment to ECAT.
Now, we all think of Easton as shovel town, and that's relatively true. The shovel works was probably the biggest single employer in town in the era after the Civil War, but not by much, and not perhaps in total, because there were lots and lots and lots of people who were in the shoe industry, and George Andrews was one of these people. George is important for a couple of reasons. He, as you can see, was a veteran. He was a veteran of the Civil War, and he was a first lieutenant in Company A of the 7th Massachusetts Regiment. And that was significant because the 7th Mass was the #1 unit that had the most people from Easton in it. And even more for many, many years, between the Historical Society and the library, we've done summer walking tours. And to the point where I think we've covered every place you can walk to in Easton. Generally they're of a historical perspective. I'd like to one day get into a little bit more about the nature that's available in Easton. Because a large percentage of the town is conservation land, and there are some rare plants and animals that we could still see. But we've covered a lot of historical things, starting with the big buildings, the Richardson buildings, and the very famous people. And then more and more over the years, we've begun to really look at the ordinary folks that lived here in town and made an important contribution to the way Easton is today.
We have a lot of footage of like why this is this way and why the water treatment plant was necessary and why they chose the method they used it, and that, maybe 20 years from now, somebody's going to want to see what it was before. Well, we have that footage, and we have like every step of the way, because we could have a staff member walk around for an hour once every 9 days and film it, Not a large staff commitment, but the payoff and the foresight of that is amazing. One of the things when I was programming the channel that I would get asked for all the time around the holidays is, do you have the holiday parade from '98? My little girl was in it and she just graduated from Harvard as a doctor. And I think it would be cute to show that. And yes, we do. And I will find that for you because that's important. I think the historical, the year after year, knowing what the holiday festival looked like in 1982 is going to be extremely valuable 30 years, in 2 years when it's going to be 30 years old.
The nice thing about television is it's so immediate. I've been working, as my students will tell you, I've been working on a book, and everybody will ask me how the book's coming along. Well, it's coming along slow, that's for sure. It's going to be years and years and years and years and years to get a book done. Whereas we can go out and, shoot a series of videos over the course of a summer and tell a lot of the same story.
I just want to really say ECAT is 5 stars. You know, and as I've said, I think 10 times already, that it is the communication means for Easton due to the decline of other processes. And I think I'm speaking not only for the Easton Historical Society, obviously the Ames Free Library and all their programs that you show, but really for the town of Easton, because you have the children's readers, you have the films that if you can't sleep at night, you can watch kind of thing. And I just want to thank you particularly. Thank you.